Howdy champs, my name is Mohit, and people, in front of you here is a published preview of an automatic picture gallery where the pictures are showing through with a random transition. There are 10 different random transitions that show through one after the other. I've used the transition manager class, people, and even I cannot predict which is the next transitions that's going to show up, right? I have a feeling that many of you people will benefit with this kind of a gallery, simply because right now it's an automatic gallery. By just disabling and enabling a few lines of ActionScript, not at all altering it, but just enabling and disabling a few lines of ActionScript, I can turn it into a clickable one rather than an automatic one. All right, and as I said, the 10 different transitions effects that are available with the Flash and ActionScript 3 transition manager class are being picked up randomly. There's another good reason why I'm absolutely sure that you're going to benefit, is that the script isn't too big at all. All right, let me first show you how I can actually convert this automatic gallery into a clickable one. Okay, so momentarily let me come off the published preview. Let me dive inside the actions panel. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable these 3 lines which are actually making it automatic or time controlled or timer controlled. Okay, I'm going to select lines 8 through 10 and I'm going to apply a block comment, thus rendering those lines non-working for some time, whereas I have this line 26 to which I've already applied a line comment, which I'm going to remove so now. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Control Enter once again. Okay, this time, people, just by rendering 3 lines temporarily useless and making one single line ActionScript statement, I'm getting it back into life. Now this gallery should be clickable. Excuse me, people, as you can see, every time I click on the gallery, you just saw the photo transition effect. It pops up a different transition altogether. Okay, so this was blinds, this is fade, this is rotate, this is photo, right? This is blinds again. Excuse me. All right, this is pixel dissolve, people. All right, so very cool, isn't it, people? So next up, people, what I'm gonna do is let me first explain exactly what's there on the timeline, and then we'll go inside the actions panel and we'll understand the action script, which is barely 26 lines, people, barely 26 lines with at least 6 blank lines. So you see, it's a concise, very handy script. It's gonna come in, it's going to be really useful. Cool. Okay, so there are just 3 layers on the timeline. Now, the conventional way of teaching or understanding the tutorials is that I construct everything from scratch, but most of my tutorials are in very basic. I assume that you have a basic understanding of using Flash and ActionScript 3. So I'm not going to construct it, picture by picture, movie clip by movie clip, button by button, etc. I've already done the construction. I'm just going to tell you verbatim what all I did. All right, just keeping things simple and sweet. So as I said, I am safely assuming that a little bit of Flash, you have had some exposure to Flash and ActionScript 3. Right. So people, right here at the top we have the AS3 layer, which contains the script, as I said, 26 lines with at least 6 blank lines, right? The second layer, and the order is important, actually contains an invisible layer. It's a movie clip, okay? If I click on this movie clip, you can see that the movie clip has an instance name of hidden display object. Now this picture gallery or photo gallery in Flash also assumes that you understand the concept of display objects, that you understand the concept of the fact that display objects have a depth, they have an index number at which they are located. The display object right at the bottom has an index of 0. The one then on the top has an index number of 1. So if there are so many display objects spread all over the stage, every object will have a different index number, which will be decided by the depth of that object, right? The object that was created first will obviously have a lower index number, right? So in a nutshell, all the objects that are placed on the stage have a different depth and hence a different index number, right? So on layer number 2 we have a hidden display object. It's actually a movie clip, all right? And what I've done is I've rendered the alpha of the object as 0. Okay, if I go to alpha, see what I've done is actually if I double click on the display object, I have although I have not rendered the alpha 0, the color, the fill that I've used, the fill color, I've actually kept it at alpha 0. So basically that's getting in the same effect as rendering the alpha of the object 0. So just one and the same thing. What you could do is, if you don't want to make the fill color at alpha 0, you can simply drop the alpha from here. All right, so both the methods are just fine. Either the fill, I've used the white fill, people. See, let me double click on the object once again, and I'm in the edit mode, and if this is the fill color, people, you can choose any fill color, and as you can see that okay, now the alpha of the fill color is at full 100. Let's see, I choose the color white, and if I go back, you can see that this invisible layer is now visible with the color white. Let me double click again, and let me click out here and just drop the alpha to a 0. All right, so dropping the alpha of the fill or dropping the alpha of the movie clip from here works just the same way. All right, the third layer, let me lock the first two layers. The third layer is actually a pile or a group or a stack of 5 pictures. Okay, let me just spread them apart like so. All right, so Control Z to just get them back where they were, just to reposition them to square one. All right, now I imported all the images onto the stage, 5 of them in fact, and it's a pile, people. They've been pushed on top of each other. As you can clearly see, none of the movie clips have an instance name. I right click them and I said convert to symbol, right? So all of them are movie clip symbols with the registration point top left out here, right? So but it was not necessary for me to give them instance names. None of the 5 pictures which are in a pile on top of each other have an instance name, but they have an index number. The one at the bottom has an index number of 0. The one right here on the top, which is this image, people, has an index number of 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and that is the way I'm going to refer them inside the action script. So even though this movie clip, these 5 movie clips or 5 pictures, which are actually movie clips, don't have an instance name, I'm going to refer to them with the help of their index number inside the action script, which we are going to dive in a moment now. Right, so that is the arrangement of the stage of the timeline. So just one single frame and 3 layers. Very, very simple. But the invisible layer actually contains one invisible movie clip, which though has an instance name of hidden display object. All right, now people, I'm going to go inside the actions panel, and let me open it up for you. All right, and you'll be amazed to see that it's not at all too lengthy. It's pretty concise, all right, and equally effective. Cool. Let me once again disable line number 61. So I'm going to apply the line comment. All right, and let me make it automatic. So I'm gonna get the timer class back in. So let me remove the block comment like so. Let me hit Control Enter to be sure that everything is just fine. All right, so you can see it's time controlled once again with the 10 different transitions which get applied randomly. All right, cool. So just to let you know, people, that the script that I've written also wants from you a good understanding of the display objects. Okay, now let's understand the script line by line, and it's not at all too difficult as long as you understand the concept of the display objects in Flash, the display list in Flash rather. So in lines 1, 2, 3 and 4 I've used the import directives to import the requisite classes. Most of these lines will auto-populate while you're actually writing the code, but some may not. So it's a good idea to upfront actually manually write these 4 lines and get the requisite classes, which are actually nothing but templates of building blocks for that class to function correctly. All right. Okay, in line number 6, what I've done is I've actually created an array. I've given it a name of effect. Okay, and inside which I've fed the 10 different effects that are available with the transition manager. So that's a fade, a fly, the photo, the iris, pixel dissolve, blind, zoom, squeeze, wipe, rotate. It's important, people, that you use the capitalized version only. F is capital out here, F is capital out here, P is capital out here, I is capital out here, so on and so forth. So only capitals. That's important. In line number 8, I've created an instance of the timer class, and my timer fires at every 4 seconds, but this is a value that you can change to suit your needs. So that's entirely up to you. Whenever you create a timer, people, you need to start the timer using the start method. Cool. I've added an event listener to the variable timer, and so what happens here is every time the timer fires, which is going to happen after every 4 seconds or 4000 milliseconds, both are just the same. I want a function called gallery to work, and let's see what that function gallery is. Now most of the times, people, the event inside the parents should be timer event, but I've actually replaced it with simply an event, not a timer event, and there's a reason for that. Timer event is also a kind of an event. Okay, so just replacing the timer event with the word event is absolutely okay. It's not going to affect the way the gallery will work, so that's okay. So instead of the timer event, I've used the reserved word event out here, and I'm going to explain a little later why I actually did that. Okay, in line number 13, I've created a variable RNO. Basically means a random number, R for random, NO for number, and I made it equal to the integer of, or the whole number of, math.random into 10. So this is gonna always bring in a value between 0 and 9. Always. You can actually trace and test the RNO, and it'll always give you a value between 0 and 9 included. Right. So I've used the math.random method of the math class. Then I've used the setChildIndex. Okay, now this is where it gets a little difficult to understand, maybe, but for most people who know how the display list in Flash work, they shouldn't find it difficult. Now what the setChildIndex method does is it swaps one index number with the other. So you may say setChildIndex 5, 0. What that would mean is a 4, 0. What that would mean is it will get the display object at index number 4 or 5 or 6 or whatever, and then if you say 0, it's gonna change the index number of the object from the first value to the second value. Okay, so I beg your pardon, let me explain that again. I think I just messed it up. What setChildIndex does is it's gonna fetch a movie clip. Okay, so this is where you need to put the instance name of the movie clip and then give it an index number. So since I don't have instance names for my movie clips, those 5 pictures, I am instead referring to them as getChild@4. Now the getChild@4 method is also referencing a specific movie clip. Now since there are 5 pictures, the getChild@4 method is referencing the movie clip right at the top of those 5 pictures. Okay, so what I'm doing is through the setChildIndex method, I am pushing the child right at the top, which is getChild@4, or the movie clip right at the top, getChild@4 that is, and I'm changing the index of it to 0. So in other words, I'm pushing the topmost picture bottommost. So taking the picture from the top of the stack, I'm taking it to the bottom of the stack. So completely from the top to the bottom. That is what is happening in line number 14. Okay, and as I told you that since I don't have instance names for my movie clips, the script actually wouldn't work if I had instance names, but I had to use the getChild, setChild methods out here. Okay, so in lines 16, 17 and 18, what I'm doing is I'm rendering the alpha of all the movie clips or all the pictures which are in the middle of the top and the bottommost picture to a 0. I'm making them completely transparent. This is necessary, otherwise in some of the effects you would see 3 pictures all together momentarily, and it doesn't look quite cool. You can try by disabling these 5 lines, and in fact let me show it to you. If I apply the block command and if I run the if I fire the script, let's see what happens. Right, so you see the script doesn't fire properly. Just for a split second you can see 3 pictures coming together, so it's a little messed up. But if you render the alpha of the pictures in the middle of the stack, so getChild@1, 2 and 3, which are pictures in the middle of the topmost and the bottommost picture, the alpha of which I've rendered at 1. So this step is necessary, people, for the script to work correctly. So make sure that the alpha of the topmost picture and the bottommost picture, which these pictures you can refer to them as getChild@0 and getChild@4. Okay, since the indices of them are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've used 5 pictures, but the equation would change if I were using 6, 7, 8 or 9 pictures, or whatever number of pictures I would be using. But then you would be needed to make intelligent changes in your script. So if we had one more picture, getChild@4 then becomes 5 out here as well. Okay, and you would need to add one more line of alpha here too. Okay, so just in case you had more pictures, you would need to make intelligent changes accordingly to the script. Not too many changes, but a few changes here and there. Okay, next people, what I've done is, after making sure that the alpha of all the pictures in the middle of the topmost and the bottommost pictures are 0, but the topmost pictures picture and the bottommost picture have an alpha of 1, what I need to do is I need to declare a variable. I can give it any name, and then it's actually picking up the the picture right at the top of the pile, which is get child at 4, basically referencing the fifth picture, the one right at the top of the pile. And then through the transition manager start method, I'm applying to my MC an effect of the type, which is this. Effect is the array. RNO is any number, which is gonna be 0 till 9. Okay, so it's gonna pick up either this or 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 this effect, depending on which random number was generated. Okay, and then that transition would be applied in 1 single second. Okay, this is again something that you can change. You can change the duration out here, you can change the duration out here as well. All right, so this is how the automatic picture gallery would fire. Let me hit Control Enter once again. Cool. Now let's say you didn't want to use the time controlled function, but you would want to make a clickable gallery, and I told you isn't too difficult at all. So just disable lines. In fact, just by disabling line number 9 only, because that's responsible for the timer to fire. Let me disable that. Let me apply a line comment, and by enabling line number 26 I should be fine. Now let's see what line number 26 is. So I've added an event listener to the hidden display object, which is the layer here in the middle, that movie clip, which is actually on the top of all those 5 pictures. It's an invisible picture, invisible layer altogether. So give me a sec. Okay, I've added an event listener to the hidden display object, and whenever somebody clicks on that display object, since it's right at the top of all those 5 pictures, I would want the same function gallery to fire, which is in line number 29. But now again, I actually should have not written event out here, but ideally a mouse event. But if you remember, I had not written a timer event out here, but just event. So people, since timer event is an event and mouse event is an event as well, the word event can be used for the timer event or the mouse event. It's good enough for replacing the mouse event and the timer event as well. So it works for both the timer event as well as the mouse event. All right, so this is the same function that's being called again, which is this in line number 11. So the same function is going to fire this time, but the trigger won't be the timer, but actually will be the click on the hidden display object. So let me show that to you. So just by disabling line number 9, everything will be just fine too. So let's show it to you. Okay, so nothing happens now since the timer has not been started, since that line 9 was disabled. But once I click, that was the rotation effect, the blinds effect. Okay, so you see any of these 10 transition manager effects could be picked up randomly from the array and then applied to the pictures on a mouse click. Right, so people, before I terminate the tutorial, let me just sum it up all over again. One of the best things about this gallery is it could be time controlled, or it could be just clickable. So just making disabling or enabling one line here and there, we can get the desired result. That's something which is really cool. What's also great about this gallery is that you can apply randomly 10 different transitions using the transition manager class in Flash, right? So but now some of you there might be thinking, what if I just want the fade effect? What if I just want the let's say the blinds effect? You don't want all the 10 effects to come in all together randomly. Okay, so just make one more change, and I think I'll show it to you now. Where it says effect in square brackets R and no, just replace it with the effect that you want. Let's say just the fade. Okay, beg your pardon. Right, that's a fade. So let me hit Control Enter and show you what I mean. So this time, and every time you click on the picture, you just see the fade in effect and nothing else, right? So there's so much that you can do with this gallery, people. In a sense, it's quite a complete one, and I hope you agree with me. So people, I hope you liked this tutorial, enjoyed it all through, and you'll keep coming back for more. Please subscribe, please comment back, people. A positive comment is really like a big shot, you know, it's like a big boost to the ego, and makes us work even harder for you, right? So I hope you'll keep coming back for more. You have a good day, guys. Bye bye. Peace.